My fiancée said, "My mom thinks you're beneath me, and maybe she's right." I replied, "Good to know." That night, I pulled my name off every document we shared. 2 days later, while she bragged to her mother, the envelope that arrived in the mail made her scream at the one person she was trying to impress. I'm 34, and until 3 weeks ago, I thought I had my life figured out. I had a fiancée I'd been with for 4 years, a woman I'd planned an entire future with. We had a wedding date set for next June, a venue booked at this beautiful vineyard 2 hours upstate, invitations already designed and sitting in our shared cloud folder. We had a joint savings account with just over $43,000 saved for a down payment on a house. We'd spent weekends driving through neighborhoods, imagining which one would be ours, talking about paint colors and whether we wanted a backyard big enough for a dog. We had what I thought was a partnership built on mutual respect, shared dreams, and genuine love. Turns out, I was the only one who thought that. Looking back now, I can see the signs. But when you love someone, when you've invested years into building something together, you ignore the small cracks. You tell yourself they don't mean anything. You make excuses. Her mother had always been cold toward me. From the very first time I met her, there was this look in her eyes. Not quite disgust, but definitely disapproval. She'd ask pointed questions about my career, my family background, where I went to school. When I'd answer honestly, she'd just nod with this tight smile that never reached her eyes. My fiancé would always brush it off afterward. "Don't worry about Mom," she'd say. "She's like that with everyone at first. She'll warm up." 4 years later, she still hadn't warmed up, but I convinced myself it didn't matter. Her father was kind to me. Her younger brother thought I was cool. And most importantly, my fiancé loved me. Or so I believed. The comments from her mother started getting worse about a year ago, right after we got engaged. Little digs here and there. "Oh, you're still renting? At your age?" Or, "I suppose not everyone needs to be ambitious." Or my personal favorite, "Well, love is important, but so is stability." Each time, my fiancé would laugh awkwardly and change the subject. Never a defense, never a "Mom, that's inappropriate." Just avoidance. I brought it up a few times. She'd always say the same thing. "That's just how she is. If I confront her, it'll only make things worse. Just ignore it. It doesn't mean anything." But it did mean something. I just didn't realize how much until 3 weeks ago. It was a Sunday, early November, one of those crisp fall days where the air smells like wood smoke and dying leaves. We'd been invited to her parents' house for dinner, something we did almost every other week. I'd actually been looking forward to it. Her father had mentioned he wanted to talk about the wedding, and I thought maybe, finally, her mother was coming around. Dinner was pleasant enough. Roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans from her mother's garden. Her father asked me about work, and I told him about a project I'd just completed. He seemed genuinely interested, asking follow-up questions, nodding along. Her mother stayed mostly quiet, occasionally interjecting with comments directed at my fiancé. "You look tired, sweetheart. Are you getting enough sleep?" Or, "That dress is lovely. Is it new?" After dinner, the men were banished to the living room while the women cleaned up. That was the routine. I sat with her father and brother, watching highlights from some game I didn't care about, making small talk. About 20 minutes in, I realized I'd left my jacket upstairs in the guest room. I excused myself and headed up. The guest room was at the end of the hall, past the study. The study door was cracked open, and as I approached, I heard voices inside. Her mother's voice, sharp and clear even though she was trying to keep it down. "I just don't understand what you see in him." I stopped walking. My hand was on the banister, my foot hovering over the next step. "Mom, please, not tonight." My fiancé's voice, tired, exasperated. "I'm serious. He's not ambitious. He doesn't come from anything. No family money, no connections, no prospects for real advancement. You're settling, and I don't understand why. He's a good person. He treats me well." Good and well aren't enough. Her mother's voice rose slightly. You're 32 years old. You could do so much better. Your father's business partner has a son, remember him? He's a lawyer now, very successful, and he's still single. Or what about that man from the country club, the one with the medical practice? I'm engaged, Mom. So unengage. It's not too late. You haven't married him yet. You could still walk away before you make a permanent mistake. There was a pause. A long, suffocating pause where I stood there in the hallway, barely breathing, waiting for my fiancée to shut this down, waiting for her to defend me, to tell her mother she was out of line, that she loved me, and that was all that mattered. Instead, I heard her sigh, a deep, weary sigh. I know, Mom. I know. Sometimes I wonder if maybe you have a point. If maybe I am settling. But we've been together for 4 years. We have a wedding planned. People are expecting it. What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to choose the life you deserve instead of the life that's easiest. Look at his family. Look at where he came from. Do you really want that to be part of your children's legacy? Do you want your kids growing up with those influences? Another pause. I don't know, my fiancé said quietly. I just don't know anymore. I didn't wait to hear more. I turned around, walked back downstairs as quietly as I could, and grabbed my jacket from the coat rack by the front door instead. My hands were shaking. My chest felt tight. When I walked into the living room, her father looked up. Leaving already? Not feeling great, I said, forcing a smile. Think I'm coming down with something. Better head home. Oh no, want me to get... I'm fine, really. Tell everyone I said goodbye. I was in my car and pulling out of the driveway before anyone could stop me. I drove home on autopilot, my mind replaying those words over and over. Sometimes I wonder if maybe you have a point. If maybe I am settling. I just don't know anymore. 4 years. 4 years of my life, and she didn't know if I was worth it. When I got back to our apartment, I sat in the dark for a while. Just sat there on the couch, staring at nothing. We'd picked out that couch together, spent an entire Saturday going from store to store until we found the right one. She'd been so happy that day, laughing as we tested each one, making jokes about becoming a boring old couple who cared about thread counts and lumbar support. Had she been pretending even then? She came home around 10. I heard her key in the lock, heard her humming something as she walked in. The lights flicked on. Hey, you feeling better? She dropped her purse on the kitchen counter, kicked off her heels. Dad was worried about you. I told him you probably just ate too fast. I didn't respond, just looked at her. Her smile faded. What's wrong? Your mom thinks I'm beneath you. The color drained from her face. Her hand, reaching for the fridge, froze midair. What? I heard you. In the study, talking to your mother. Oh, God. She pressed her hand to her forehead, closing her eyes. Oh, God, you weren't supposed to... I didn't know you were... Weren't supposed to what? Find out that you think you're settling for me? No. No, that's not... You don't understand the context. She was pushing me and I was trying to get her to stop. By agreeing with her? She rushed over to me, hands out like she was approaching a wounded animal. No, you're misunderstanding. I wasn't agreeing, I was trying to pacify her. You know how she gets. If I argue with her, she just digs in deeper. I thought if I just let her vent, she'd drop it and we could move on. I stood up. So you threw me under the bus to avoid an argument with your mother. That's not what happened. Really? Because from where I'm standing, I poured my heart out to you for 4 years. I supported you through your career change. I held you when your grandmother died. I learned to cook your favorite meals. I watched your favorite shows even when they bored me to tears. I showed up to every family event with a smile even when your mother treated me like dirt. And when she told you I wasn't good enough, you said, maybe you have a point. Tears started streaming down her face. I didn't mean it. I swear to God, I didn't mean it. I was just tired and she was wearing me down and I said something I shouldn't have. But I love you. You have to believe that I love you. Do you respect me? She blinked. What? Do you respect me? Because love without respect isn't worth anything. And I don't think you respect me. I think you've been embarrassed of me this whole time, and I was too blind to see it. That's not true, isn't it? When was the last time you defended me to your mother? When was the last time you told her to back off instead of making excuses for her? She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. It's complicated. You don't understand our family dynamic. No, it's simple. Either you're on my side or you're not, and tonight I found out you're not. We fought for another 2 hours. She cried, begged, promised things would change. I stayed cold, detached, running on some kind of autopilot that kept me from falling apart completely. Around midnight, I threw some clothes in a duffel bag. Where are you going? My friend's place. I need space. Please don't leave. Please. We can work through this. Maybe. But right now, I can't even look at you. I grabbed my keys and left. She called after me, but I didn't turn around. My friend lived 20 minutes away. He took one look at my face and poured me a drink without asking questions. I told him everything. He listened quietly, occasionally shaking his head. Man, I'm sorry, he said when I finished. That's brutal. Am I overreacting? Are you kidding? She basically told her mom she's embarrassed of you. That's not something you come back from. I nodded slowly. Yeah, that's what I thought. That night, lying on his couch and staring at the ceiling, I started thinking about all the little things I'd brushed aside over the years. The way she'd introduce me at her work events with just my first name, no context, like I was an accessory she'd brought along. The way she'd steer conversations away from my job when her family asked. The way she'd forgotten to invite me to her college reunion. The way she'd insisted on keeping our finances separate for now, even after we got engaged, even though we'd started that joint savings account. I told myself it was because she was independent, because she valued having her own identity. But maybe it was because she didn't want to be too entangled with me. Maybe she was always keeping one foot out the door. Monday morning, I called my lawyer. We'd used him to review our apartment lease when we first moved in together, so he already knew the basics of our situation. I need to know how to untangle my finances from my fiancée's, I told him. You breaking up? Working on it. He outlined everything. Since we weren't married, it was surprisingly straightforward. The joint savings account could be split 50-50. The lease could be modified. Since she made more money than me and I'd been planning to move out anyway, I could just have my name removed and she'd take over full responsibility. Any bills or contracts in both our names could be separated. How fast can this happen? I asked. If you move quickly, a few days for most of it. Do it. Tuesday morning, I went to our bank, the same bank where we'd opened that joint account 2 years ago, where the teller had smiled and congratulated us on taking such a mature step in our relationship. I sat down with a manager and explained that I needed to withdraw my half and close the joint account. She looked uncomfortable. Are you both in agreement about this? I don't need her agreement. It's a joint account. I'm entitled to my half. Of course, please just process it. She did. $21,500 transferred to a new account in only my name. I walked out of there feeling lighter and heavier at the same time. Next stop, the landlord's office. Our lease wasn't up until May, but I explained the situation, vaguely, professionally, and asked to have my name removed. He'd need her to sign off on assuming full financial responsibility, but that wouldn't be a problem. She made enough to cover it. This is effective immediately? He asked. Yes. All right. I'll send the paperwork to her. Utilities were next. Then insurance. By Tuesday evening, I'd systematically removed myself from every shared document, every shared obligation, every piece of paper that tied me to her. I didn't tell her any of it. I wanted to see how long it would take her to notice, or if she even would. Wednesday, I got my first text from her. Can we please talk? I miss you so much. I stared at it for a long time. Then I put my phone face down on the table. Thursday, she called me 4 times. I let every single one go to voicemail. In the last message, her voice was shaking. Please pick up. I know you're angry. I know I messed up, but we can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can work through it. Just please don't shut me out like this. I love you. I need you. Please call me back. I deleted the messages without responding. Friday morning, a mutual friend texted me, Dude, what's going on? She called me last night crying, said you won't talk to her, she's freaking out. I didn't respond to him either. Friday afternoon, I was at my friend's apartment, helping him fix a leaky sink, when my phone buzzed with an email notification. My bank app. I opened it and saw that she'd tried to access the joint savings account. The transaction had been declined. Account not found. I knew what was coming. 10 minutes later, my phone exploded. 12 texts in rapid succession, then a call. I let it ring twice before answering. What did you do? Her voice was high-pitched, panicked. Why can't I access the savings account? I tried to transfer money for the next wedding deposit, and it says the account doesn't exist. It doesn't, I said calmly. I closed it. You what? I took my half out and closed the account. It's being handled legally. You'll get your half. What? Why would you? She was sputtering now, her breath coming in short gasps. What about the lease? I tried to pay rent this morning and the landlord said your name isn't on it anymore. It's not. Are you insane? You can't just erase yourself from our life. Actually, I can. We're not married. Everything we shared was voluntary. I'm unvolunteering. This is insane. You're having some kind of breakdown. No, I said, my voice steady. I'm thinking clearly for the first time in months. You told your mother I was beneath you. You agreed with her when she said you were settling. So I'm making it easy for you. You don't have to settle anymore. That's not what I said. You're twisting everything. Am I? Because I've had a lot of time to think this week, and I realize now that you've never stood up for me. Not once. Not to your mother, not to your friends when they'd make jokes about me being the safe choice, not to anyone. You've been embarrassed of me this whole time. No, that's not. Then prove it. Call your mother right now, while I'm on the phone. Put her on speaker and tell her she's wrong about me. Tell her I'm exactly what you want and that you won't tolerate her disrespecting me ever again. Silence. The silence stretched out for 5 seconds. 10. 15. That's what I thought, I said, and hung up. I blocked her number immediately. Blocked her on every social media platform. Blocked her email. I knew she'd try other ways to reach me, so I texted our mutual friends and told them I needed space and not to pass messages. Saturday morning, I found out through the friend I was staying with, who'd heard from his girlfriend, that my ex had shown up at her parents' house Friday night in hysterics. She'd had a complete breakdown in their living room, sobbing about how I'd emptied our accounts, how I'd removed my name from everything, how I'd abandoned her without warning. Her mother, according to the story, had comforted her, had stroked her hair and told her it was for the best, that I'd shown my true colors by leaving instead of working things out like an adult, that she'd been right all along. I wasn't good enough for her daughter. And my ex, desperate and broken and craving her mother's approval, had nodded and agreed. That's when I knew, beyond any doubt, that I'd made the right decision. She'd rather have her mother's validation than fight for our relationship. Monday morning, I had my lawyer draft a formal letter. It was professional, clinical even. It outlined every financial separation we'd made. It confirmed in legal language that I had no obligation to her moving forward. It included a detailed breakdown of what I'd taken from the joint account. exactly half, calculated down to the penny. It even included documentation showing that I'd paid for my half of all deposits we'd put down for the wedding, and that she was welcome to keep those funds or cancel and request refunds. I wasn't trying to hurt her. I just wanted it all documented, clean, final. The letter was sent via certified mail, signature required. I tracked it online. Tuesday morning, it was out for delivery. Tuesday afternoon, at 2:47 p.m., according to the tracking website, it was signed for. By 3:15, my blocked number was getting calls from unknown numbers, 5 calls in 10 minutes. I didn't answer any of them. At 3:30, an email came through to my personal address, the one I hadn't blocked because I forgot she even had it. The subject line was just, "Please." I deleted it without opening it. Wednesday, my friend sat me down with his phone. "You need to hear this," he said. "Hear what?" "My girlfriend talked to her cousin, who's friends with your ex's sister. Apparently what happened yesterday was—" He shook his head. "It was bad, man." According to the story, and I'm sure details got exaggerated as they passed through the grapevine, my ex had been at her parents' house Tuesday afternoon. It was becoming a pattern, apparently. She'd been camping out there since Friday, barely going home. She'd been sitting in the living room with her mother, talking about the situation. Her mother had been reassuring her, telling her I'd come crawling back any day now. "Men like him always do," her mother had reportedly said. "He's just throwing a tantrum. Once he realizes he can't do better than you, he'll be back." And my ex had nodded, had maybe even started to believe it. Then the doorbell rang, the mailman with a certified letter. She had to sign for it herself. She opened it right there in the living room, read the first page, read the second page, read the itemized financial breakdown on the third page. And then, according to this third-hand account, she screamed. Not cried, screamed at her mother. "This is your fault," she'd shouted. "You did this. You ruined my life. You couldn't just let me be happy, could you? You had to pick him apart until I started doubting everything." Her mother, shocked, had tried to calm her down. "Sweetheart, he's not worth this." "Yes, he was. He was worth everything. He was the best thing that ever happened to me, and I threw him away because I was too weak to tell you to shut up." They'd fought for over an hour. My ex had apparently said things she couldn't take back. Her mother had said things in return. It ended with my ex storming out, getting in her car and peeling out of the driveway. She hadn't spoken to her mother since. "Damn," I said when my friend finished the story. "Right?" Her sister said their mom's been calling her non-stop, crying about how ungrateful her daughter is. "Too little, too late," I said. "You think she'll reach out again?" "Probably, but it doesn't matter. I'm done." And I was. 3 weeks later, I'm sitting in my new apartment. It's small, a one-bedroom on the other side of town, but it's mine, just mine. The walls are the color I want. The furniture is what I picked out. There's no one here to impress, no one to question my choices, no one to make me feel like I'm not quite good enough. I heard through the same grapevine that my ex sent out messages to the wedding guests. Due to unforeseen complications, the wedding has been postponed indefinitely. Most people figured out what that really meant. Her friends, our friends, I guess, though they were always more hers than mine, have been cold to her since. I ran into one of them at the grocery store last week, and she actually hugged me. "We always liked you," she said. "Thought you were the stable one, the good one. We're sorry this happened." I thanked her and moved on. Her mother, I've been told, is absolutely furious. Furious that the family is now the subject of neighborhood gossip. Furious that her daughter is single at 32 and, in her words, damaged goods now. Furious that I had the audacity to walk away with my dignity intact instead of begging for another chance. She's apparently been trying to save face, telling people that I was the problem all along, that I was controlling, that I trapped her daughter, that she's relieved we didn't get married because who knows what he would have done then. I don't care. Let her spin whatever story she needs to. The people who matter know the truth, Oh, as for my ex, I don't know what she's doing now. I haven't asked, haven't checked her social media, haven't driven past our old apartment, haven't done any of the pathetic things people do when they can't let go. Because I have let go. I'm doing better than okay. I joined a gym, started going to this boxing class on Tuesday and Thursday nights. It helps, hitting something. I've been reading again, something I'd stopped doing because she always wanted the TV on. I reconnected with old friends, guys I'd lost touch with over the years. We meet up for beers on Fridays now. I don't miss her. That's the strangest part. I thought I would. I thought I'd wake up in this empty apartment and feel the loss like a physical ache. But I don't. What I feel is relief. I miss the idea of what we had, the future I'd imagined. But the reality? The reality was that I'd been planning to marry someone who saw me as a compromise. Someone who would have spent our entire marriage quietly resenting me while pretending everything was fine for the sake of appearances. That letter I sent? It wasn't about revenge. It was about making sure she understood, in clear, legal, undeniable terms, exactly what she'd lost. Not because I wanted to hurt her, but because I wanted her to know that I wasn't beneath her. I was just done being treated like I was. And now I'm free. Free to find someone who doesn't see me as something to settle for. Someone who'll defend me instead of agreeing with the people who tear me down. Someone who chooses me, proudly and without hesitation. I'm 34, single, and starting over. And honestly, I've never felt better.